Hey everyone, welcome to day 5 of our project series. Today, uh, as a part of your project series, we again back with another project. We today, as a part of your video, we just gonna create one pipeline using Amazon services like CodePipeline, CodeDeploy, and using IAM Roles, EC2 instance, and triggering the pipeline over the GitHub and deploy it over the EC2, by which we can access the website on our EC2 instance using port mapping. Without further delay, let's start the video and practical session. Let me share my full screen. Okay, yeah, here we go. Uh, let's change the flowchart first. A developer can commit the change in a GitHub, and the code pipeline inside the AWS service, which is code pipeline service by AWS, trigger the code commit and deploy it over the EC2 instance, for which we are going to use two IAM roles, each role assigned to one of the service called code deploy and EC2 instance. One role can assign to EC2 instance that configure the policies and all, and one role assigned to a code deploy that IAM role basically have some typical one policy assigned, which is called as a code deploy. So we are using we are using the Node.js application and deploy it over the GitHub repository. The repository given in the description. So make sure you follow the steps and stay ahead. So I am going to walk you through code. So this is our simple app.js code, which is using Express, and it simply displays the message called Express demo app, and it shows a success message and our version and all. And inside app.js, we also have one another directory which displays the product ID and price. Okay, so that's all, and it is listening on port 3000. Okay, so let's I will show you how it shows the result. First of all, make sure you have Node installed on your local machine. So hit first, we have to install the some modules. So npm install. It's going to install all our modules in your local machine. So yep, hit install, and when we clear the terminal, okay, and let's run the app.js called by using node app.js. As you see, the application is listening on port 3000. So let's try to access the application. Okay, localhost. Okay, localhost 3000. Yes, it's working. We also have one another directly. Let's check for this slash products. Yes, this one is also working. So our application is working well. So let's create one pipeline for it that could walk you through our each services of AWS. So go into our AWS console first. Okay, yes, this is my AWS console. We first create our IAM role, one role for EC2 and one role for code deploy. Okay, so go to the service like IAM. Okay, under roles, we're gonna create two roles. So first create a role for EC2 instance, create role, AWS service. Under use case, you have to select EC2. Okay, EC2, hit next. Okay, we have to assign a code deploy policy for the this IAM role, which is basically specific for EC2. Okay, so let's search for a code deploy. Here we have Amazon EC2 role for AWS code deploy. So Select this and hit next. It will create one policy for us. As you see, give it a name like EC2 IAM role. Okay, and go with all default and create one role. Our role is created. Again, we have to create a second role for, oh, sorry, here we have code deploy. Code deploy, go with default. Okay, it has a predefined policy, which is a code deploy. Okay, this one is only one role. Next, give it a name called code deploy IAM role. Okay, create a role. Now we have created two roles. As you see, this one is our second role and this one is our first role. Okay, so now we have to create one EC2 instance configuring IAM role, which we create just created our IAM role for EC2. So go on EC2. Okay, open it in your new tab, launch instance. Okay, it's a simple instance we are gonna create, nothing more. Just one advanced setting we have to configure. So let's give it a name like EC2 Express. Okay, with the name I'm going to add one additional tag with EC2 Express X name and add one volume to it. Okay, so yes, I'm going to use Amazon Linux as a base operating system. You may go with Ubuntu and all. Okay, go with default free tier eligibility and instant type. I'm using T2 Micro. It's free. You may also have one key pair inside your local machine install. But if you don't have, create one new key pair and download it in your local machine. Okay. Okay. Network setting. We have to configure the network settings like SSH is here. We have to add one security group from anywhere and okay, from anywhere using port. As we see, our application is running on port 3000. Okay. So 3000. Okay. Done. Okay. And go with the configuration 8 GB RAM and all. Khatam. Advanced setting. Here is the main point. Okay, we have to configure the advanced settings like inside there metadata. We have to configure like it may be enabled or metadata version. We are using version 1 and version 2. You may go with the version 2 only, but metadata response is only one. Make sure and enable the tag. Okay. And here inside choose file, we have to select or we have to upload some file like our application is basically using Ruby and like as you see basically using Ruby and all. So inside readme file, here you see our basic I have given a basic scripts and all. So yep, copy the full command like it is updating the instance, install Ruby, wget from your okay, the installing wget and wget from using you can configure the code deploy from our EC2 instance and more a while and okay. So copy the whole commands and paste it here. Okay, it may while it may launch, so it may configure the whole command inside this inside the instance. Okay. So yep, configure the setting is ready and all. Okay, we just gonna again as I mentioned, we created one IAM role for typically for EC2 instance. Okay, so here inside IAM profile, you have to select this IAM role. Okay. Okay. And configure it. Selected domain. Okay, इसमें selected. Okay. And now launch the instance. It may launch. Okay. Our instance is up and running. As you see, our instance. Okay, it's running. Inside of we have to one more. You have to add one more security, like HTTP. Okay, so inside security group, HTTP we have to allow the HTTP inbound rule. Okay, so add one more rule, and HTTP. Okay, custom domain 8080 and all. Okay, it's fine. Save rule. Uh, I am forgotten while I am creating the EC2 instance. So while you creating instance, you may configure it HTTP and click the uh, box inside the network setting that HTTP may allow. Okay. 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 Security groups are saved. Go to EC2. It's our EC2 instance is running now. Okay. So now we created IAM role and assign it to a EC2 instance. Again, we created a second IAM role and assign it. We have created, but we have to assign it to a code deploy. So let's create one code deploy. Go on code deploy service. Open it in a new tab. Okay. Yes. Under application, we have to create one application. Let's give it a name like Express Compute Platform was 82 on Prime and create application. Okay. And it may create one application for us, and under application we have to create one deployment group. Okay, so give it a name like Express Deploy group. Okay, it's done. We have to configure the service. We have created one IAM role for the code deploy. Configure it. Okay, in place it okay, and we have one EC2 instance and we created a tag for it. Okay, remember the tag, and under which we have name tag and its value is Express app. EC2 Express app. Okay. Okay, done with only basic scheduler and all. Okay, all at once, and enable it. We are only using one EC2 instance, so we don't need a load balancer to be manageable. So, okay, we don't need it. Okay, and create one deployment group. It may create one deployment group for us. Okay, now our code deployment group is ready. Okay, and now we have to trigger the application from our GitHub. So let's create one pipeline for it. Okay, here we see pipeline and pipeline. Under pipeline, we have to create one pipeline. Create pipeline. Okay, here go with a build custom profile, and next we have done it before. So go with a name like Express Code Pipeline. Okay, Q. Okay, okay. Next. Source was our GitHub app or GitHub on code. GitHub app. Okay. You may configure the connection uh, in our day, I guess so. In our day 2 or day 3, we created one pipeline project under which I have mentioned how to connect our GitHub repository or create or access the GitHub repository from here. So I have created one. So I am going to use it. Under this one, we have now all repositories are mentioned, are listed below. Okay, so my repository name under which my Node.js application is present is Express app repo. So I have to click on that and it's deploy on main branch. Okay, so it's main code pipeline default and although next. Here are some commands and all we can configure, but we gonna skip the build stage. We also gonna skip the I guess uh, test stage and under deployment we have to use code deploy and it's in same state. So yep, it's an application name was Express app and deployment group was Express app deploy group. Okay, and next hit next. It may let's configure the whole updation be done. Okay, okay. GitHub repository was triggered. It's on main branch, trigger configuration and all. Okay, and deployment group is also attached. So let's create a pipeline. Hopefully the pipeline gets succeed. Okay, let's check. Okay, it's running, it's running, it's running. It's running. Okay, our source is now done, and our deployment group is also configuring the source. As you see, our application pipeline is on succeed, is get succeed, and some stages are on pending. It may progress and it will trigger the code from our GitHub. Whenever we met one new commit on your code, the code get triggered by the pipeline and it will going to deploy on EC2 instance. So we can access it from using by we can access it by using our we can say public IP address using port 3000. So that's it. Our practical is done, and that's it for the video. Make sure you subscribe the channel and hit the like button. Thank you.